Imagine waking up from a lightning strike. But instead of the flashing lights of an ambulance, you're looking at this totally sarcastic floating drone.
Right, yeah. Not exactly a typical Tuesday.
No, definitely not. You're suddenly in the year 2150. You're inside a 2-mile-high tower, just sitting in the middle of a flooded ocean. And honestly, I think the craziest part is that the secret to surviving this high-tech dystopia was, well, it was actually hidden in a 1980s hip-hop graffiti tag.
Yeah.
And your dad's quantum physics lectures.
It's a massive conceptual leap. But that clash, between the mundane solid world we navigate every single day and the invisible vibrating quantum reality beneath it, that's really the engine driving this entire narrative. Today's deep dive is an exploration of a sprawling, just mind-bending Afrofuturist sci-fi narrative called Lucid by Achille Damone Haidt. It is quite the journey.
Oh, it really is. We have a lot of sources to synthesize today. This text just masterfully weaves together 1980s Los Angeles hip-hop culture, hard quantum physics, and ancient esoteric spirituality to tell this sprawling sci-fi hero's journey all about human potential.
Yeah, and it really challenges you to look at the intersection of science and mysticism. I mean, we like to think the world we see is fixed, right, safe.
Right.
But when you zoom in on anything like, even the device you're playing this audio on right now down to the subatomic level, it's mostly just a chaotic storm of vibrating energy. The author uses that scientific reality as a springboard for, well, a deeply philosophical story.
And it all starts in just the most seemingly normal place imaginable, which is a 5th grade classroom.
Oh, yeah. The mundane grounding.
Exactly. Our protagonist is Evan Wheat. He's a teacher, but he's deeply, deeply frustrated. He's the guy actively trying to correct the textbook. He's up there explaining to 10-year-olds that Europe isn't actually a separate continent, but part of a larger landmass.
Right, trying to explain that the distinction is based on historical power dynamics, not actual geography.
Yeah. He is just inherently a challenger of the established narrative. He absolutely refuses to just accept the reality that is handed to him.
Which, makes total sense when you look at his past. I mean, before he was Mr. Wheat, he went by Reflex.
Reflex, right?
He was a graffiti artist running the streets of LA with this hip-hop crew called the Scandal Boys. But that creative, rebellious side of him was essentially shut down by his father, Dr. John Wheat.
Yeah, let's talk about Dr. Wheat for a second.
Yeah.
Because he is this brilliant, highly illogical quantum physics professor. He wrote a book called Birth of a Quasar, and he ended up raising Evan alone after the really tragic early death of Evan's mother, Yasmin.
And she was this deeply creative, free-spirited artist, so Evan is just caught right in the middle of these two immense parental polarities.
And I actually want to pause here,
Yeah.
because the author grounds Evan's character in some really heavy real-world pressures. This isn't just a breezy sci-fi setup where everything is fun and game.
No, not at all.
Internally, Evan is wrestling with his girlfriend Maya's decision to have an abortion. And the text just impartially presents this as a deeply challenging personal issue for his own beliefs.
Right.
And externally, the text establishes this history of generational trauma. It details how his grandfather, Willie Wheat, was killed in a shootout with police during the civil unrest of the 60s. So the author uses these specific events to really highlight Evan's systemic distrust of authority and just the profound weight of the material world that he feels trapped in.
He's under immense pressure. But the escape hatch from that pressure, interestingly enough, it doesn't come from magic, it actually comes from science.
Wait, you mean his dad's lecture?
Exactly, specifically his dad's physics lectures. The author uses real, established concepts in quantum mechanics to essentially foreshadow and explain the astral elements of the story that happen later on.
Oh, right. Because Dr. Wheat is teaching his students about quantum entanglement.
Yes, where particles can communicate instantaneously across vast distances.
And quantum tunneling, too, where particles can just pass right through solid barriers, which sounds like magic, but is actual physics.
Precisely.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because reading about his dad teaching quantum superposition, which is, the idea that a particle exists in multiple states at once until it's measured, I couldn't help but see the character metaphor there.
Oh, how so?
Well, is Evan essentially living in a state of quantum superposition? He's simultaneously the dutiful, square teacher his dad demanded he be, and the rebellious creative artist his mom was. He's just vibrating there, existing as both, just waiting for the universe to finally measure him.
That is a highly perceptive way to look at it. Yeah, he is a wave of potential waiting to collapse into a defined reality. And, in quantum mechanics, the act of measurement forces a particle to choose a state.
Right.
For Eben, that forced measurement is a sudden tragedy. His father is killed in a car crash, and the crash is highly, highly suspicious, which just completely yanks Evan out of his mundane life and throws him into this crazy mystery. Yeah, he visits his estranged uncle, Travis, who is currently incarcerated.
And Travis tells him straight up, this was no accident. Like, there are dark forces involved here.
Which really initiates a thematic shift in the narrative. We move away from the physical world of LA and start following a breadcrumb trail of, well, hidden frequencies.
Yeah, Evan finds a hidden safe, and he opens it using his mother's birth date. And inside, he discovers this wooden cigar box containing a rare Lemurian quartz crystal, a cryptic poem, and a bookmark for the Peregrine bookstore.
So he goes to this bookstore, right? And he meets the owner, Olivia.
Oh, Olivia is fascinating. She's this ageless, totally enigmatic figure who already seems to know him.
Exactly. And she introduces a philosophy that really anchors the entire rest of the story, the Sankofa.
Okay, the Sankofa. I was looking into this. It's a West African symbol, right?
Yes. It's a powerful West African symbol, often depicted as a bird flying forward while its head is turned backward, reaching for an egg on its back.
Okay, flying forward but looking back.
Right. The literal translation is basically, it is not wrong to go back for that which you have forgotten.
Yeah.
It represents the idea that to understand your ultimate potential, you have to excavate your past.
And Olivia doesn't just give him a history lesson on this. She straight up gives him DMT-laced Earl Grey tea.
Quite the escalation, yeah.
I mean, I got stuck here initially. He drinks some tea and just boom, time travel.
Well, no, it's not literal time travel in the traditional sci-fi sense. It's more of a profound ancestral memory retrieval.
Oh, okay, so the DMT is like a catalyst.
Exactly. The DMT acts as a chemical catalyst, allowing his consciousness to bypass his immediate trauma. He vividly witnesses his parents together when he was a child, and he actually feels their love, really understanding the dynamic between his logical father and his creative mother.
Wow.
It's a necessary emotional reset, basically, before he can receive his true inheritance.
Right, because after this whole trip, she hands him a magical book called The Magical World of Aramis. And this book triggers these incredible lucid dreams.
The dreaming is where the real work happens.
Yeah. In one dream, he meets the Sovereign Council of Peregrine Nation and a woman named Eon. She strikes a chime, and this is where the physics and the esoteric spirituality really lock together for me.
Because Eon explains that the chime synchronizes the two hemispheres of his brain to the Earth's heartbeat, which vibrates at exactly 8 hertz.
So explain the 8 hertz thing for a second, because that's a real scientific concept, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's called the Schumann resonance. The Earth's electromagnetic field naturally pulses at roughly 8 hertz.
Okay.
When the human brain lowers its brain waves to that exact frequency, it enters a theta state. That's the state of deep meditation or lucid dreaming.
Oh, wow.
Eon also mentions its higher octave, 432 hertz. The underlying philosophy here is that reality isn't solid matter at all. It's acoustic. Sound and vibration are the fundamental secrets of creation.
Okay, so tying this back to that Lemurian quartz crystal his dad left him, Olivia tells Evan that his DNA holds tens of thousands of years of cosmic information. So, if DNA is the interface between the material and non-material worlds, is this crystal essentially just an interdimensional USB drive? Like, does it just need Evan's specific genetic vibrational barcode to unlock all this ancient cosmic data?
That's a fun way to phrase it, but not quite a physical key or a USB drive. Think of it more like acoustic resonance.
Acoustic resonance, okay.
Yeah, you know how if you strike a tuning fork, another fork of the exact same pitch across the room will spontaneously start vibrating?
Oh, sure.
The crystal is the second tuning fork. It remains completely inert until it comes into contact with the specific frequency of Evan's bloodline.
That is so cool.
Right. But to actually trigger that resonance and unlock that data, the physical body requires a massive jolt.
Well, he certainly gets one.
It really does.
Yeah, Evan gets into this furious argument with his cousin Chuck. They had opened a weed dispensary called the H2O Cafe using Evan's life insurance money, but Chuck ended up staging a robbery to commit insurance fraud.
Classic Chuck.
Right, so Evan is just so angry, he storms out into a massive thunderstorm, and bam, he is struck directly by lightning.
The voltage sends his physical body straight into cardiac arrest. But his consciousness doesn't die. The lightning basically provides the ultimate measurement we talked about earlier, collapsing his quantum wave once and for all.
And he awakens.
He awakens.
He wakes up in a lush, tropical rainforest, and he's greeted by a floating drone, just casually informs Evan that he is now in the year 2150.
He has transitioned completely out of the world of quantum shadows and straight into a highly detailed dystopian future.
The world building in Solar City is just wild to me. It's located way out in the Atlantic Ocean because apparently massive hurricanes have completely sunk Florida.
Yeah, climate change taken to the extreme.
And the city itself is just a single vertical tower. It's 2 miles high, 1,100 floors, and it houses over 500,000 citizens.
It's a closed, incredibly claustrophobic ecosystem. But the true horror isn't the architecture, really. It's the invisible cage they all live in.
The grid.
Exactly. The population is governed by the authority via the grid. Every single citizen has biochip nodes injected straight into their veins.
Which is terrifying. I mean, if you are listening to this on a commute right now, think about the GPS on your phone or like the algorithms tracking your screen time.
Yeah, it's very relatable.
That's essentially the grid, but instead of sitting in your pocket, it is literally flowing through your bloodstream. It is the absolute ultimate surveillance state.
And running this whole panopticon is Dr. Augustus Ama. He's the tyrannical leader of Solar City. And the incredible narrative twist here is that Dr. Ama used to be Dr. John Wheat's graduate assistant back in the 1980s.
Which just blows Evan's mind, and he quickly realizes how brutal this new reality is when he witnesses a public assassination attempt on a corrupt politician.
Right, and it's broadcast via a massive hologram of Dr. Ama.
Yeah. Ama is just completely obsessed with transhumanism. He's pushing genetic bioengineering, merging human DNA with insects, and utilizing synthetic technology to achieve physical immortality.
He wants to conquer death using hardware.
But here's where it gets really interesting to me. Later on, we meet Yar, who is the spiritual master of the resistance group known as the Free Radicals.
Yes.
And Yar is also trying to achieve immortality.
Yeah.
But he wants to do it through intense spiritual ascension and disciplining the organic body. So wait, aren't the good guys and the bad guys chasing the exact same goal here?
Oh, absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that is the central philosophical debate of the entire narrative. You've identified the core tension right there.
Okay.
It's artificial, forced evolution versus organic, disciplined ascension. Dr. Ama wants to conquer nature by replacing it with hardware and genetic tampering.
Right.
While Yar and the Free Radicals believe the human body already possesses the necessary hardware. It just requires the software of the human soul to unlock it.
I love that analogy. And to survive this ideological war, Evan has to completely shed his old identity. The frustrated 5th grade teacher is dead.
He's gone.
He joins the Free Radicals and begins training under Yar, who, by the way, is a blind master who literally levitates during meditation, which is amazing, and Jade, who is this incredible hacker and spiritual warrior.
The training they subject him to is entirely designed to break his reliance on the physical world.
And the trials are just insane. He has to dodge astral tigers in his mind while his physical body is locked in a room. Wait, does that tie back to the quantum tunneling his dad was teaching? Like the tigers aren't walking through doors, they're just bypassing physical space altogether?
Precisely. They are tunneling through dimensions, which forces Evan to defend himself using consciousness rather than his fists.
That's wild. He also has to scale a 10-foot wall 100 times in the mud, cheered on by a pod of telepathic dolphins. Yeah, naturally. They act as allies to the Free Radicals.
Right.
He even has to learn the Hebrew alphabet in his dreams from a hooded friar, because speaking an ancient coded language is the only way to communicate without the authorities surveilling them on the grid.
Exactly. But all this training relies on one very specific biological mechanic, which is the pineal gland.
Okay, the pineal gland, let's get into that.
The author grounds this mystical ascension in actual human biology. Yair teaches Evan that the pineal gland, which is located deep in the brain, is the only gland not protected by the blood-brain barrier.
Which means it's uniquely vulnerable, right?
Yes, vulnerable to environmental toxins, sure, but also uniquely accessible.
Ah, okay.
In the lore of this story, the pineal gland is the literal gateway to consciousness. It naturally produces melatonin, which we know regulates sleep.
Right, right.
But here, it is the fuel required for the deep, lucid dreaming needed to access higher astral planes. By protecting and developing it, Evan learns to activate his Merkaba.
The Merkaba. It's described as a star, tetrahedron-like, 2 intersecting pyramids of light anchored at the base of the spine.
Yes.
It basically functions as an interdimensional light vehicle. You know, the way I read this, Activating the pineal gland and the Merkaba is exactly like jailbreaking a smartphone.
Oh, I like that.
Think about it. The authority and the grid are the default lockdown operating system that society forces you to use. But the Merkaba, that's bypassing the factory settings to unlock the universe's developer mode. You get access to the root code of reality.
That is a fantastic modern analogy. Yeah, you are bypassing the artificial grid to connect to the cosmic grid.
And he really needs that developer mode
Yeah.
because the free radicals are planning a massive cyberpunk cyber heist.
The stakes get very high, very fast.
They need to financially cripple Dr. Amma to stop his genetic experiments. So Jade and Evan target an armored truck carrying Solar City's digital currency, which is called Solaris.
It is a phenomenal collision of ancient mysticism and futuristic cyberpunk aesthetics.
Oh, it's so cinematic. Jade uses a cloaking algorithm that masks Evan's physical appearance, making him look like the true nature of his soul, which beautifully takes the form of his father, Dr. Wheat.
A really touching detail.
Yeah, and they ambush the truck with the help of Yar's bodyguards, the twins, who turn out to be two massive Rottweilers named Rex and Effect.
Which is just a very clever nod to the 90s hip-hop group Rex and Effect, keeping that cultural thread alive, even in the year 2150.
Totally. They use the Rottweilers to distract the heavily armed guards. Evan and Jade use their martial arts training to flawlessly incapacitate the security team. Jade slices through the armored containers with a laser pen, and they steal 300,000 Solaris stored on hardware crypto wallets.
They succeed, but the aftermath is actually quite complex.
Yeah, Yar is not happy.
No, Yar is actually furious when they return. He feels the risk of exposure was far too high, which really reinforces that the free radicals must operate with absolute monk-like discipline if they want to defeat Dr. Amma.
But the heist proves one thing, which is that Evan is ready. Yar assigns him a new, incredibly dangerous undercover mission. He is sent to infiltrate Dreamscape's Interactive.
Right.
On paper, it's a VR gaming company, but in reality, it's a front for Dr. Amma's twisted genetic data mining experiments.
He is walking directly into the belly of the beast.
On his first day, prepping for this infiltration, Evan looks at the clock. It's exactly 11.12.
A very significant number.
Right. He closes his eyes and is hit with this mystical vision. A white falcon, the symbol of the Peregrine Nation, flies in slow motion and enters directly into his third eye, followed by a being of pure light.
Wow.
He is no longer Evan Wheat, the frustrated teacher. He is fully activated and ready for the war to come.
It is the ultimate realization of the Sankofa. He has retrieved the ancient power of his past and integrated it into his physical self to fight for the future.
So, what does this all mean? Obviously, you and I aren't currently dodging astral tigers or stealing crypto from cyborg security guards.
It is incredibly relevant. We don't live in Solar City, no, but our reality has its own version of the grid. We are constantly tracked, monitored, and distracted by glowing rectangles. We voluntarily plug into systems that demand our constant attention, feeding our data into algorithms we don't fully understand.
We get so caught up in the stress of the material, world-scrolling, working, trying to meet societal expectations that we completely neglect the internal hardware of our own consciousness.
Which is exactly why the author centers the philosophy on the Sankofa. The story suggests that true evolution doesn't come from abandoning our past or severing our roots in favor of cold, synthetic technology.
Right.
It comes from understanding where we came from, addressing the generational traumas we carry, and really integrating that ancient wisdom. Sometimes you truly do have to look backward to move forward into your highest potential.
It's just a really powerful way to look at the world. And I want to leave you with one last thing to ponder today. Think about that solid table we talked about at the very beginning, the illusion of the mundane world. If the mythology of this story is right, and your DNA really is a cosmic hard drive holding thousands of years of ancestral memories and ancient survival codes, what if the first step to truly rewriting your reality isn't finding a magic Lemurian crystal in a hidden safe, but simply waking up and becoming truly lucid while your eyes are wide open?
That is the perfect question to leave off on. Are we really awake, or just navigating the murky waters of our own modern illusions, waiting for our own lightning strike?
It makes you wonder.
It does. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Stay curious, stay lucid, and we will catch you next time.